We all have to choose how much we can sacrifice in order to achieve greatness.
You're walking late at night down a road you've been to before so many times. You're down on your luck, got a few dollars to your name. And out of nowhere, there's a crossroad. Never seen this crossroad before. This crossroad could lead anywhere. But before you make a decision on right or left, someone's there and they ask you, what are you willing to give up for fame and notoriety? Now, if you're like me and trying to figure out exactly what's going on or realizing I'm butchering some words that are common English words, well, I'm the Dad Panther variety streamer, content creator, master of none, and I do it frequently here. This is another episode of the Critics Collective, and today we're going to talk about a Netflix series called Remastered. Now, before I get into what we're going to talk about, I'm going to say this is an actual documentary series, Remastered, and it's very good. Check it out. Maybe I'll come back and do another one, but you have Tricky Dick and the Man in Black. You have The Two Killings of Sam Cooke was excellent. The Massacre at the Stadium and Who Shot the Sheriff, a Bob Marley story. So those are all very interesting, very, very good documentaries, and they're less than an hour. So I would recommend checking those out. Maybe I'll come back and talk about it. But today, because of the movie Sinners, I'm going to talk about The Devil at the Crossroads. This came out in 2019. Again, it's under a minute. No, under an hour. No, I did a minute. That'd be the fastest movie ever. No, it wouldn't be enough for a movie. It'd just be a series of pictures. Anyway, sidetrack. So for this, I'll go with my first impressions. Didn't know anything about this at all, the series whatsoever. It just pops up. Sometimes I see some like Hollywood videos and I'm like, hey, this looks pretty cool. The story, when I saw the name Robert Johnson, it grabbed me because my dad mentioned this when I was a kid. Now, if you don't know who Robert Johnson is thrown constantly in movies and even in pop culture when it comes to the conversation of selling your soul to the devil. It's just something that it's just about it for decades. Now, if you saw the movie Sinners, okay, this is bringing up the conversation and this person's name as they were an influential part of the Sinners movie. If you saw a review on the Crossroads, I think is what it's called, the 1986 movie with the guy from Karate Kid, respectfully. That's another one. If you look at various other things in music, it comes back to this story. Now, IMDb says it's a short look at the mysterious life of blues legend Robert Johnson, who was said to have made a deal with the devil at the crossroads in rural Mississippi. Now, I believe this takes place in 1938, if I'm right. I don't know. Like I said, my dad's told me the story so many times, or what the myth or the legend is, and it goes one or two ways. Basically, the conversation is from Africa. There were deities, and those deities were not passed down from generation to generation, and so eventually the story became the devil. But a lot of people would say that the deity goes by the first name of Papa, the last name is El. I sound like I was doing an intro for a rap. I wasn't, I promise you. And so sometimes what they would do is they would carry coins. It could be pennies, and they would take so many pennies and place them on the corners of the road. You see this in certain areas like Mississippi, Louisiana, in certain cultures like Africa or even Haitian. So you would put these pennies and you would be able to have a conversation with an individual and it not necessarily get talents to be world famous and all this other stuff, but sometimes it's just you're having some marital problems or you're trying to get money or you're trying to keep a job, whatever it is. And this was something that was looked upon not in a negative light, like a lot of people kind of put the word voodoo on stuff, hoodoo, if you would. It's just looked at as a way of life. So the story basically goes deeper for 40 plus minutes. And what they break down is they interview people who known him and worked with him or talked to him. And a lot of them are like, hey, this guy couldn't play anything. And he came in and he was down. You get the drift. Now, the interesting thing that this doesn't talk about, and going into it before my highs and lows, the interesting thing that they don't talk about in this is he didn't get famous. He honestly, um, basically changed music because his ability to play. It's like what if Michael Jordan or Michael Jackson were not famous, but everybody, enough people saw them that inspired them to do what they did, and it continues. That's the thing about this individual. Their ability to play and the way they sang and used blues and R&B and soul and funk and country. Yes, country, we did that. Um, the way they were able to tell these stories early on about pain and suffering and joy and lust and happiness and all these things they were able to do, he was able to do something that other people picked up on generationally, and it's still affecting everything. And there's artists that are like that in various genres, and it's not necessarily the color of your skin like that. It's just that's what music can do. And so the conversation is, what if it wasn't his natural talent? What if it was a deal? So the pro I would the low I would say in this is it's just too short. Once you start diving deep in this, you want to know more. You want to understand literally, like, show me proof. Is there anybody else? Let's go. Who else has been to space and is an alien? And who else isn't who they say that, like, it makes you deep dive into it. Now, the pros I will say about it is the interviews are genuine. It's shot well. I love the it's like kind of like a cartoon sketching as they're showing you kind of him walking down the street and what he would do. And I thought it added to it. It was soulful. It felt old and new at the same time, kind of like when you watch Black Panther in the beginning. They use the sands to kind of tell the story. I thought it was interesting. Other than that, I mean, the music was cool. I mean, there's nothing. I mean, there's nothing about it that it doesn't take the full front as the artist himself, the relatives, and the people like that. And with that being said, it's time to rate this thing. We do a rating from 0 to 5. Okay. 0 to 5, 5 being this is awesome, and 0 as this is not. Um, I want to give the rating right now, but I can't because I'm supposed to do like ads and there's like adult stuff I have to do for a channel. So, with that being said, listen, 3 minutes, just 3 minutes. Check out any video that we have on our long collection of videos and give us 3 minutes. Let us know in the comments. All right. Let us know in the comments what we should be watching. What are you watching? Okay. Hit the subscribe button, like, comment, follow for more. Now, my rating for this is going to be a 5. It's going to be a 5. I thought the execution was great. I thought it's less than an hour. And I was intrigued and I took something from it and it spawns conversations of other stuff. Here it is, 2025. And one of the biggest, movies that kind of came out of nowhere for a lot of people is Sinners. And for that movie to really focus on telling this story and the Easter eggs that drop will have people coming back to this, continuing the story. The other thing I thought was great was being able to go into it and realize there's different types of magics. There's different types of cultures that have been brought over. Not everything that you hear is necessarily bad. And the names, the faces that you get, like me listening to wrestling or watching wrestling for years, knowing Papa Shango and how Papa Shango looked and what he would do and the stuff he would do. And as a kid, it's like the Undertaker was like, oh, I can't sleep at night. And then hearing the legendary story of that it wasn't the devil. It was someone named Papa, something with an L. I don't want to mispronounce it or respectfully, but that deity. And I was like, man, it made me think of Nancy from American Gods and Nancy from American Gods and those monologues Orlando would bring to the set and just man, you can still play those and get chills. And so I've had the same feeling with the story of Devil at the Crossroads. So you could have been anywhere in the world. You chose to be here. And I greatly appreciate that. Until next time, Kalika Lika Lao.